Hello and good day. Today I wanted to talk about a common question that we usually get, which is why we always kind of advise and encourage people to do inner child work, which is basically going back to your past, visiting different versions of yourself, and giving love and understanding different things about yourself. And the common question that we usually get is why go to the past when it's already gone? The past is already gone, and there's no point of opening up these old treasure boxes. But the reason why it is important, because everything that's happened to us in the past is the reason we are who we are today in the present. And when we go back to the past and understand different things that happened to us at a young age, that might have created beliefs, created pain, it affects who we are today, how we perceive the world, how we form our friendships, how we value ourselves. And when we go back, we can change that perspective to affect the perspective of today.
So a big part of it too is, so a lot of the pain that we go through today is a continuation of a past pain. And a lot of the times my past is painful because when I'm remembering my past, I'm reliving it as if I'm still that Fahad, as if I'm still that person, not who I am today. That if it was the current me who went through those situations, it'll probably go very differently because I have more awareness, more knowledge, more tools to deal with these things. So in my opinion, when you learn to go back to those situations as the current you and actually show love to that version of you who was hurt, give them what they are missing in that moment, you start transforming that pain into wisdom. So when you start talking about your past, you're not reliving it as if you're that person anymore. You're reliving it from that knowledge and experience of who you are today. So the past versions of us, yes, they should be in the past, but at the same time, remember you can bring you into the past as well to heal these wounds better.
I think there's also a difference between something in the past that's been resolved and something in the past that hasn't been resolved. So an example you shared earlier, which is if, let's say, in second grade, third grade, or an earlier time, a friend of mine screwed me over.
A friend of mine, a friend of mine, old friend that I had a long time ago, betrayed me. It was a very big betrayal, and it really affected my trust in people. And for the longest time, I had difficulty making friends because I was expecting the trust to be broken, But I just kept reliving that experience as if I was still that Fahad. But since that betrayal, I've learned a lot about trust, about who I open myself up to, how much I open myself up, how powerful being vulnerable is. So it's changed my relationship with trust, and it's slowly opened my heart to be able to accept people in my life. But to do that, I had to acknowledge how far I've come and what I've learned and what tools I have now. So when I look back at that experience, I don't feel as heavy about it because that Fahad didn't know better. He didn't have the awareness that I have.
So every version of you that grows and evolves takes over new lessons, new tools that the previous version did not have. So when this new version with these new tools goes back to visit that old version and shares these tools that they have, then you can heal this wound and move forward. There's an interview for Gabor Mate where he said that infants are what's the word?
Narcissistic.
And not in a way that's kind of bad, but in a sense that they take everything personally, because to them the world does revolve around
It's about them.
It is about them. So when something bad happens, when a parent lashes out, or they separate or whatever, immediately the child thinks, oh, this is my fault, this is because of me, and so on, because they don't know better. But if we as adults don't recognize that and go back to that child version and kind of tell that version of us, it wasn't your fault, you know, this is what actually happened, blah, blah, then you give that old version of you a perspective that affects this new version of you, because time is linear in our physical realm, but in the quantum realm or in the energetic realm, it's not. It's happening all simultaneously at the same time. So when you heal that version of you, you heal this version of you as well.
Because you change the story in your head, right? Because the story is I was hurt, not I am hurt. You know, I was hurt and you're continuing this hurt. But then you start changing the narrative to like, no, I was hurt because I didn't know better. And you start showing compassion to yourself, the past version of you, which will help you show compassion to this version of you.
So I hope this inspires you to dig deeper into who you are today, and
with kindness,
compassion, and patience, and to be curious of who you were in the old version of you, and see which parts of you that need to be visited and kind of nurtured and cared for, because it really is a tough journey, but it's also a very rewarding and important one. Yeah.
And you can turn pain into wisdom, which is great.